You're listening to Truth on Tap with host Kevin Kierstead.
Ladies and gents, this is Kevin Kierstead, host of Truth on Tap and Caps on Tap. I hope you're enjoying the show. Truth on Tap is focused on bringing you absolute truth about everything from mainstream media to comedy, from psychology to the paranormal. This show keeps it real, not the fake kind of real, the real kind of real. That same spirit also covers our Caps on Tap show about the Washington Capitals. Caps on Tap shows air only after Capitals wins at this time. Please come like our Facebook page and join the conversation at facebook.com/truthontapshow. Truth on Tap has been picked up and promoted by iHeartRadio, the internet audio mega monster, so shows are available there as well as on Spreaker and a limited selection on iTunes. To get in on a show's chat, you can chat from the Facebook page I mentioned or go to www.spreaker.com/user/truthontap and look for the live episode or call in at 910-NO-LYING. That's 910-665-9464. Thanks again for checking out Truth on Tap and Caps on Tap.
You're listening to Truth on Tap with host Kevin Kierstead.
Opening up the truth pipeline for these bitches. News, paranormal, politics, and science. Truth and comedy, and asking who and why this.
Truth on Tap. Truth.
My right to say how I say it's mine to give. My right, my heart, it's mine to share. My soul, my
Truth on Tap.
News, paranormal, politics, and science. Truth and comedy, and asking who and why this.
God damn it, people. We're live. It is Caps on Tap. Washington Capitals beating the Montreal Canadiens 3-2 in the shootout. Almost caught my girlfriend on the show. She was out here asking me a technical question, and as some of you know, I do like to work on computers. It's part of my, what I do to make money. So, now, don't think that's crazy. Here, let me take you back in time real quick. First of all, you're listening to Caps on Tap. It is a daughter show of Truth on Tap. The host remains the same, Kevin Kierstead. Just a fan, been a fan since 1974. And this is a show from a fan's perspective. And we will talk about the Caps in just a minute. So you hear a DJ come on of some type, a radio personality come on of some sort. And you say, wait, he has another job? Well, yeah. For one thing, I don't make any money with this show. But even if I did, as a DJ, ask any DJ how rich they are. You'll get some surprising answers. So I'm up in Alaska, in Fairbanks with the Air Force, and I get in touch with the single DJ that I, got to know up there was a country music DJ. And I had some songs I wanted to go over with him. I was sending to somebody back at home that sang country music. And I'm always operating in something outside of my normal work. It's a busy brain that will not shut up, so I give it shit. So idle hands are the tools of the devil. So there is that. Well, he scrubbed buses, city buses, and I would go work on songs with him, and the way I paid him was to help him scrub the buses. It was like a Mr. Miyagi Karate Kid scenario, He helps me with the songs. He opened for Don Ho in Hawaii for 10, 15 years. He knew his stuff. Now, having said all that, let me tell you the lack of an importance I place on radio voice. Have you ever noticed that? You should be on radio. My voice is good enough. It's good enough for radio, but it's not a radio voice. You know the ones. They speak, goddammit, they speak very nasally. It's like Don Imus. I can't even say my name right. I've been drinking on the job again. Well, those are some nappy-headed whores there. Yeah, I don't have that. But I think we are at an age where content is more important than delivery. I do. Especially with all the voice modifying software out there, you can get a 6-year-old kid sounding like an adult. Now, it's very simple, So, fuck voice. Give me content. That's what I'm giving you tonight. Caps on Tap, Washington Capitals edging out the Habs to break what would have been a 5-game losing skid. You think I'm happy. You think that I came on here to celebrate the Capitals' victory. But that's not the case tonight. In fact, I was going to do a show tonight in rare form after a loss, if we lost. because it's time. You know, I wasn't doing shows after a loss because nobody would show up for the shows. But then my conscience started getting to me and said, well, you know, maybe when people are in a better mood, they'll listen to the shows that were after a loss. Maybe that's true. Didn't matter to me, though. I had to get on and say something. People like Troy Brower, Troy, on my shit list. Is he on yours? Is he on your shit list? He should be if you're a Caps fan. Here's a guy who comes out and is not afraid to speak out against his team off the top of his head. He comes out before this you remember what happened last year when he was bitching on, this team sucks, you know, in front of people. You don't do that. That's not professional. So he was scoring some goals last year. He was getting some stuff done last year. Well, he's fucking around this year. He's not that good. I got his stats up right here. He's not that good. He's fucking around. His line's not getting it done. He got it done tonight for a change. So you're giving him a break, but don't give him too much of a break. Take his average over the past 8 games, and you won't be giving him a break. He comes out tonight. What does he say before the game? He's down there talking with, I believe, Smoking Al Koken. You remember? He says, well, we took 9 minor penalties in the last game. We can't do that. And what does his goddamn hypocritical ass do? Goes out and gets a cross-check in the third? No deal. So let me tell you what to do, Troy Brower. You stop talking about the team and worry about your game. You worry about your game, and there is plenty to keep you busy there. Some of you may recognize that line from a certain 1980 Hockey Olympics movie. There should be plenty there to keep you busy. Remember that? Yeah. Well, that applies to you. 35 years later, Troy Brower, there should be plenty there to keep you busy. Stop bitching about your team and start being a part of your team. You are part of the problem right now. You are part of the problem with the Washington Capitals. So you need to work on getting in position. You need to work on getting in front of the net. And let me tell you something. Look at the way the Capitals handle a puck in front of the net on those rare opportunities where they crash the net. That's way too rare anyway. When they get in there, what do you see? What do you see with the Capitals that you don't tend to see with other teams? The Capitals don't want to score dirty goals. Oh, they'll say they do, but they don't do it. You get 1 or 2 guys that'll do it. They want everything to be pretty, don't they? So you get the puck down around the net where you could be hacking and chopping at it, trying to get one over, you know, maybe in the 5 hole, maybe up a 7 hole. But you don't. You don't see it. What's going on there? Well, I'll tell you what's going on there. They want a pretty shot. So instead of chopping at the puck, what do? They get it to go backwards because they want to set it up on their stick, get it away from the traffic. No, you don't do that. They've got to teach them how to get garbage goals. And that means chopping at that thing like you're trying to kill a rat. Honestly. That's how you get the dirty goals. You get your ass in the goaltender's face, block the shit out of him so he can't see anything, and then you hack away at the rat until it goes in the hole. You know, that's an ugly goal, and we'll take them. I'll take 9 out of 10 goals ugly. The 10th one I need to see something pretty. Give me a 3-on-2 or something. But goddamn it, we're not handling the ugly rebounds. People like a Budai. You take a goalie like a Budai, and I know his name's fun to say. I mean, it's hard not to say it. You know, we bitch smacked him tonight in the shootout, didn't we? Yeah, we knocked that Jay crooked. Had to say, Buddha. That's right. Bitch smacked him with a rainbow trout. That's what happened to him. Budai had a heavy glove in the shootout tonight. Budai letting in 3 of 4. Or 4. Was it 3 of 4? Yeah, I believe 3 of 4. And Holtby wasn't much better. Holtby got beat pretty much the same way on both of the first 2. He's got to learn to get the butterfly and keep it. And not leave that gaping hole, not only 5 hole, but under the pads. He doesn't get his pads all the way down. So that 5 hole's a lot bigger than it looks when he doesn't go all the way down. So, you know, and look at Eric Fair. Now, Eric Fair, for those of you that have been listening to the Caps on Tap show, as you know, I have what I call a backbone team. And this is not the best players on the team necessarily. They're the players on the team that, if removed, hurt other players and hurt the team as a whole because of that. They're greater than the sum of their parts. They have players connected to them that rely on them for success. And in that backbone club, what I had at the beginning of the year was OV, Backstrom, Chimera, and Fair. Well, Fair fell off. He came out in preseason kicking ass, but he lost it. He stopped. He stopped working. He stopped making things happen. You have to make things happen. You can go 2 periods with total shit, but then you got to come out banging in that 3rd period and do something. So That did not happen with Fair, and I'm watched, and it takes a while to get kicked off of my backbone team, but he got kicked off, and he's still off, because it takes a while to get back on. So you need some consistency there. Since then, we have had 2 additions to the backbone team, and that is Braden Holtby. I wanted to make sure he wasn't going to come out and be a second or third year flop, and Ward, who to me was quite busy enough. He worked enough, had no problem with his work ethic. What I had a problem with is his ice awareness. Ward, a scrapper, who would sit there and fight with himself when he was alone with the puck, throwing elbows and shit. I'm going, Ward, you got a clearing, buddy. You can turn around and do something with the puck. He's fighting. He's scrapping. He's over there in the corner by himself. Nobody better come around me. I got this puck in the corner. No, you got to turn around, play the game. He's great at what he does, and he's getting better at that, wouldn't you say? He's moving. He's keeping those feet going and getting out of those corners when the puck's not there or it's not going to be there. Wardo has his game together, and he is being consistent with that game. He's fallen off a little bit in the last few losses, but he's still getting goals. He's still getting assists, and his line is still producing in a crazy way. You look at a Grabo, and you look at the way he brings the puck. He's got speed. He's been constricted a little bit lately on using that speed. He knows how to pick his spots. We need what he brings to our team. Now, one of the players that has concerned me lately is Schmidt. Before you say anything, Schmidt's a great player. I don't have a problem with him in the lineup at all. But what I'm seeing with him is he doesn't seem to fit. And I don't know if we need to shuffle his pairing or just get him a little. Did you see in overtime when he banged across the line and tried to basically take it to the net? And I think he set somebody up, but it didn't work out, obviously. That's the kind of play we need to see from him more often. But to do that, you have to put a player in a position for that. You know, when they coach, you have to remember, these guys are in practice 2 and 3 hours a day, and then they're working out another 3 or 4 hours per day. They're working, all right? They're working. They're doing their thing. And that's why you don't hear me beat up on a lot of players, because if you got into the NHL, you're pretty fucking good. Yeah, you are. You're not going to get somebody up here unless he has major bruising power, like a Donald Brashear, or major provoking power, or something like, the fans behind him for some reason, because something might have happened. There are some. You get somebody like who was it, Emery, that came down and was beaten on Holtby. I hate Ray Emery. I think he has no class. He has no class. But somebody like a Sean Avery is not getting, when he was in the NHL, he wasn't getting anything done, but he was getting under people's skin. And that was enough. That was enough to keep him in. So these players that are kind of sucking, they'll sometimes find another reason to be kept on, whether that's instigating, whether that is putting their ass in the goalie's face like somebody like a Knuble would have done, or whether it is just their speed. Maybe they suck on all the other things, but they remain a threat for their speed, so they put them back, put them back on a wing or something, and hope that they get a break. Depends on how the offense and defense are built, whether or not they're going to keep somebody like that and then use them. And that could change throughout the year. It's not just this is the way it's going to be this year. You see that happening all the time, coaches making adjustments. So tonight, what you saw is not what we've been seeing from the Capitals typically, but some of it was. The great plays is what we've been missing. You look at Eric Fair tonight, he was on his game, and he did deserve player of the game. When I saw him drop his stick, get that puck, I knew that was going in when Fair got the puck, before he even passed it to Grabo. He's that talented when it comes to threading the needle. He's that talented with ice awareness. He doesn't have breakaway speed, really. He's perfect at picking his shot spots. And he's very slippery in the O-zone. Very slippery. A goalie and a D-man might have him, and then 3 seconds pass, and he'll lull them into a comfort zone. Maybe he'll be still for a second, and just lull them into a comfort zone where they say he's not a threat. Bam! He's 16 feet away 3 seconds later. And he's wide open, and he's banging it home. That's when he's playing his game. That's when he's working, grinding down in that zone. And it is hard. You know it's hard. You know why those guys can only stay out there. They're some of the greatest athletes in the world, and they can stay on the ice 2 minutes or less. There's a reason for that. That's because they're grinding and pumping, and your legs go to shit. It doesn't matter how much in shape you are. You could run 100 miles without stopping. To prove how in shape you are, you get on skates and get onto the ice in the NHL. You got 2 minutes in you. That's it. Or the legs, the lactic acid buildup, the legs turn to mush. They got nothing. And that's why I was getting excited tonight when we were keeping long penetrating times down in our ozone, tiring out, because the more you tire out a defense like that, it's not just on that cycle that you're hurting them. Yeah, that's exciting because you know you're about to score typically when you really get them dragging, because they can't do anything. They're like slugs crawling around, and it almost turns into like another man on the power play, you know. Or something else along those lines is when you have your own guys letting the other team be too much in your own D zone and you're letting them stay too long. There's something else that happens there. I want to explain that to you in a minute. But we were doing that tonight. We were ruling in our ozone, and when you do that and you tire those guys out, you're not just giving yourself luck for that cycle. You're giving yourself luck for the rest of the game, because that tiring effect, when you really run a defense in on a shift, that lasts to their next and next and next shift. You get them on 2 shifts like that, their legs are going to be spent for the night. They really are. They're going to be messed up. So they're going to lose a step on their speed. They're going to lose a little bit of ability to concentrate for the soreness. The soreness hurts. And you want to do that. You want to chop away at a team in that way. That's the long view. That's the long view of a game, not the short view. Not what are we doing on this shift. It's what are we doing cumulatively. That's why you have to have your checks in order. When you check a team all the way through the first period, or all the way through the first and halfway through the second, you notice for the second half of the game, they don't want to touch the puck. They have a little bit of hesitation when they get close to that puck. Turns into a direct advantage for your squad. Now, this Montreal team was a small team. They're not going to be throwing a whole hell of a lot of checks, except for maybe somebody like Subban. But I like to see somebody whoop Subban's ass. He's always talking, you know? He's always talking. I don't like it. I don't know if he's just playing a game or if he's really that much of an asshole. But I'd like to see a Tom Wilson throw down with him. Brouwer didn't hurt him last time they fought. You know, it's something we should do. So, looking back at our O zone, though. So, we're in our D zone, actually, and we're playing D. Here's something else that happens. Once we've been pinned in for 45 seconds, what happens? There's this strange thing that the Caps do. They get used to it. That is the most dangerous thing in hockey. Get used to being on D. And then what happens? You go to the board, you get a puck. What are you looking to do? You're going, oh, I just need to try to clear it. You're not even thinking offense. You're either thinking, I just need to get at somebody, or line change. You're not even thinking offense because you get used to it. The norm becomes the puck is in our zone. That can never be the norm. That can never be comfortable. And here's another thing we're too comfortable with. We're way too comfortable with these 1-goal games. We're way too comfortable going into the third down 2-1 or 3-2. Not cool. That cannot be comfortable for us. That has been made comfortable because it has been made the norm. That cannot be the norm. Somebody like an Adam Oates needs to get him out there and punish him. Skating. If it's conditioning, it's conditioning. Punish him. You know, say, no, you need to get up 3-1 and you need to hold on to it. Giving up 2 or 3 goals to lose the game because you decide to sit on your lead, not acceptable. Not acceptable. They are pros. These guys are pros. The problem I have is with consistency and predictability. And that's why it's hard to really pin the tail on any one donkey, isn't it? Because it shifts. The blame will shift if you're being fair. Not Eric Fair, but if you're being fair, the blame will shift from player to player, from squad to squad, or line to line. And it should. It should, because you're going to have dips and peaks in there, and then you're going to have your overall average. And looking at the players we have in the lineup right now, funny, we had Leonard tonight was our backup goalie, who was actually the assistant goalie coach. He had to dress because Nuvi got hurt right at that first step out in pregame, and it looked like you ever heard of a hip pointer? When I used to play football in high school, we'd get these things called hip pointers, and That's what we call them. I don't know what they really are, but you'd stretch too much on a run or run too fast, and you get this hyperextension backwards of one leg. Well, he slipped, so he had that hyperextension backwards of the right leg, and it pulls some kind of muscle right there in the front of your hip area, right in the pelvis area, and it can really hurt. It really can sting. You can't be effective in there, so I'm glad he didn't try to play it off and stay in. He told him that he needed to have some attention, and then it really started burning, and then you could see he had to get help off the ice there. So Nuvi's out for a while. I'm sure he's going to be out for a couple of weeks. I don't see this getting better in 2 days. So we're probably going to end up having a Grubauer or something come on in for backup and for relief. I'd like to see more of him anyway. Looking quickly over the box score here, first period, Brian Giunta, high sticking, 2 minutes against Alzner. Ryan White tripping, 2 minutes against Mikhail Grabowski. We did shit on our power plays. PK Subban high sticking against OV. Nicky Backstrom unsportsmanlike, 2 minutes against Michael Bourneval. Andrei Markov roughing, 2 minutes against Nicky. Nick Backstrom interference, 2 minutes against Josh Georges. And then in the third, we had Brendan Gallagher with high sticking against Nate Schmidt, and Troy Brouwer with his cross check against Lars Eller. In the overtime, we were a little bit comfortable once again in the D zone, getting comfortable with playing defense. Like, okay, we'll just act like it's a power play. No, motherfucker. Other end of the ice is where you need to get the puck, with you skating with it. Yeah, that's how you get goals, remember? Way too comfortable getting in that defensive posture. I don't like that at all. And that's what we do when we get in the lead. Screw that. The best defense is a good offense. I understand letting your D-men hang a little further back when you're protecting a lead, but you need to have that offense charging at all times as if you're losing. I don't know why we don't do that. I don't understand that philosophy. If it's a psychological thing, it has to be addressed in the locker room, not on the ice. Holtby stops 35 of 37 for a 9:46 tonight in 65 minutes of play, and then of course he let a couple in for the shootout. But that's that's neither here nor there when it comes to stats. Looking at the guys on the looking at the guys on the roster here. Like I said, Troy Brouwer needs to do some work on his game. He needs to really do some work on his game. Some of the guys that are surprising me a little bit are like Schmidt. He's bringing some noise with him. Volpatti's doing well. But let me get something else up here that I was looking at, another stats page. Volpatti has he only has one goal this year, but remember, he hasn't played in a lot of games. He's looking good for what he does, and he's also not afraid to drop the gloves with somebody. You think about somebody like a Tom Wilson. Tom Wilson, everybody loves him, right? He's great. Well, he only has 3 points this season. That's all. 1 goal and 2 assists. So, what is he doing? Well, he's playing a role. He's playing a role that helps the complete effect of the team occur. And that doesn't always have to be in points and assists. So it's important that we don't pin that to somebody and say, oh, you've only got 3 points, you suck. But at the same time, those that are expected to produce need to produce, and Troy Brouwer is one of those. He's got 8 points on the season. I mean, John Carlson has 12 points, just to give you an idea. Chimera's got 15. Troy Brouwer has 8. Alzner, 4 points. Alzner, I call him the belt buckle. You need him, but he doesn't do anything. Yeah, well, that's my thing for him. Johnny Erskine's out on IR. See, Eric Fair, he's got 7 points already, and he's been out a couple games, so keep that in mind. But look at like a Grabowski. He's got 19 points. So does Mojo. 19 points. That Brouwer should be up there around them. He should be, and he's got 8 points, five goals and 3 assists. I don't know. I just you can't compare anybody with Ovechkin. 20 goals, 8 assists, 28 points. You're not going to touch that. Nicky could probably get close, but he's at 24 points. He's at 5 goals, 19 assists. So these guys are playing their game. They're doing their game their way. OV. It's sad to me to see what defenses are doing. I understand why they're doing it, but throwing 2 guys on OV gets choked a lot. So here we say we see this great player, and this great player cannot be set loose to do what he can do because he's got 2 guys on him all the time. That's a shame. That's a shame that's happening now, but can you blame him? If you're playing against an OV, you're going to put 2 guys on. You're going to put 1 guy on him that really knows his stuff, and you're going to have another guy in the wing waiting. So I don't blame him for doing that. He's playing his game the way he should be playing it. And how can you fault him for that? Still leading the NHL in goals. Eric Fair, like I said, is looking good. Mike Green, not so much. Now, he's got 12 assists this year, and he's got 12 points from it. But I don't like his consistency. I hear people tell me that you ought to have Mike Green on your backbone club. No, I don't think so. He's not consistent enough. He will make bad passes late in the game typically because he's tired. That's also when we tend to take a lot of penalties when we're either at the end of our shifts or toward the end of the game when we're overall tired. And that is what it is. When you're taking too many penalties, it's typically conditioning. Did you know that? Why would you hook somebody? Why would you trip somebody? Why would you interfere with somebody? It's because they beat you somehow. They beat you. They beat you on speed. They beat you on moves. So what are you going to do? You're going to foul them to try to stop them because you can't stop them with your fitness, with your energy, with your moves. So that's what it is. It's conditioning. It's conditioning and hockey smarts, knowing where to be. To pick off passes, Montreal is doing good tonight at anticipating where our passes were going. Our passes were slow, some of them sloppy. We're way too comfortable with dumping and running, and it's called dump and chase for a reason. The chase part has been lacking in our game. Tonight it was pretty good. The last 4 games before this, not so much. Not on average. We had one good game in there, but not on average. Jack Hillen, he's out, as you know. He's got the broken tibia, I believe. Mojo, 19 points. He's doing good. I've been beaten up on Mojo. Now, not these last few games, and you probably say he's 19 points, stop beating up on him. Well, I know, but I don't see him use his speed enough. And, we've had people say that it's because he's a center, and centers have to restrain their speed to set up wingers. Well, maybe, but I see too many opportunities for him to use his speed for something great where he decides instead to just go ahead and try to skate up the middle and set somebody up when he could really get a break. He's got as much speed, skating speed, I think, as a Jason Chimera. Yet you never see him use it. You see him use it like 1 out of every 3 or 4 games average. He went a stretch there that I was watching for about 12 games, and I never saw a speed burst from him that was beyond average. It just was not, if I don't see the work, I can't. Brooks Like and I have the same birthday, just not birth year. 4 goals, 2 assists, 6 points this year. I think he's still recovering. Some of you guys agree with that. Brooks Like still recovering. Let me see if anybody's in chat. I always forget to check my goddamn chat. Sorry about that. Shit. Yeah, I do that. I'm sorry. If you're in chat, I'm coming for you. Let's see here. So this is live now. Yeah, somebody's in there already. Sorry about that. First one. Oh, okay. First one. What? Yeah, I just got in here. I'm a little late. I'm 20-something minutes late on this. Sorry about that. Not to mention, when I first started broadcasting this show, I broadcast it because I forget sometimes to change the title in the correct box. So the first show out of the box was incorrectly titled, and I'll tell you what it was titled because you may think it was something funny. It was titled "Turkey Vaginas and Dumbness." Yeah, I know. Well, I like to do funny shows, I think it's fun. It's part of why I do radio. I like to do funny shows. So, I don't know. That's what I did. Import King of Cali. See you in there. Anybody else want to come to chat, you can do that. Let me go ahead and give you a quick way to find me. And make sure you bookmark the page and don't miss any Caps on Tap shows. Here that goes.
To Truth on Tap with host Kevin Kierstead.
Ladies and gents, this is Kevin Kierstead, host of Truth on Tap and Caps on Tap. I hope you're enjoying the show. Truth on Tap is focused on bringing you absolute truth about everything from mainstream media to comedy, from psychology to the paranormal. This show keeps it real, not the fake kind of real, the real kind of real. That same spirit also covers our Caps on Tap show about the Washington Capitals. Caps on Tap shows air only after Capitals wins at this time. Please come like our Facebook page and join the conversation at facebook.com/truthontapshow. Truth on Tap has been picked up and promoted by iHeartRadio, the internet audio mega monster, so shows are available there, as well as on Spreaker and a limited selection on iTunes. To get in on a show's chat, you can chat from the Facebook page I mentioned, or go to www.spreaker.com/user/truth-on-tap and look for the live episode, or call in at 910-NO-LYING. That's 910-665-9464. Thanks again for checking out Truth on Tap and Caps on Tap. Yeah, that's how you find me. You got it there. So let's keep it going here. I'm not going to make this a long show. I know you guys want to get ahead and go on and party and celebrate your win on this Thanksgiving weekend. Could this be a turning point? I'm not seeing evidence of that. I'm seeing too many mistakes. Too many mistakes, too many penalties, too much not crashing the net, way too much that. That's something that's hard to do. You do take a punishment now from your D guys. When you're crashing the net, they're going to beat you up a little. That's something you have to be willing to do for your team. Willing to do for your team every time you go out on the ice. Guys that won't do that, guys that won't go to the front of the net, don't get anything. Or you get somebody like a Sidney Crosby who camps out beside the net and waits to tip in a rebound. That's how he gets his scores. Not very admirable. When you look at somebody like an OV, like tonight when he broke, he was down on his knees, came up, was still skating in, still got the pass off, and he'll score. As you know, he'll score from his stomach, he'll score from his back, he'll score from his knees. Homeboy could be sliding on one elbow and score through his legs on the top down low. He could actually score 7 and 5 hole at the same time. How do you even do that? How is that possible? Because he's Ovechkin. Yeah, he's not human. We know this. So he could score 4 and 3 hole at the same time. It's no problem. It's no problem. Well, when he's got the goalie spinning like a top, it is possible. It is possible. So anyway, we'll keep it going. I'm just going to talk a little bit more about the upcoming schedule. And now that we've got Nuvi on IR, Jack Hillen and Erskine still on IR, it's questionable. I don't know if anybody else is nursing any small injuries right now. Lotta took a hard run into the boards tonight, and that kind of thing, what it does if you've never played a real contact sport or been hurt like that, let me tell you what it does. You take a hard bang like that, and I've taken them in football before, your lungs rattle. Your lungs rattle, and it hurts. It's a weird kind of pain, like your ribs are okay, but your lungs have shaken on the inside, and you've probably bruised them some, the lining. It's a very strange kind of pain that spreads over a large area. If you've ever been in a car accident where the seatbelt has grabbed you, you can feel that. You can feel it in your chest. And it can really affect your breathing. And when you can't breathe as well, you can't get the oxygen into the muscles, and that doesn't work out well. So these things can take on a compound effect and hit you a little bit later, even if you finish the game out like Latta did. And like I like to say, there's nothing the matter with Latta. And Yippee-yi-yay Volpatty, he came into town to find the man that killed his daddy. That's what he did. I like to make up some nicknames here and again. Why not? Why not? It's only Eric Fair. That's about it. Let's take a quick look at the upcoming schedule we have here, and that's how we'll wrap it up. So I'm going to pull that up real quick. Capital's upcoming games and schedule. See what that's looking like. So let's see. We have one actually tomorrow. I thought for some reason that was Sunday. Tomorrow we're on the island at 7 p.m. is the puck drop. Hurricanes, Tuesday, December 3rd. That's at 7 p.m. CSN again. And then Saturday, so we get a big break between Tuesday and Saturday. So we got tomorrow and then Tuesday and the next Saturday. And that's going to be against the Predators. And both of those last two are home games against the Canes and the Predators, and they're both 7 p.m. drop time. So the next 3 games, 7 p.m. drop times, all on CSN, one on CSN DC+. That's tomorrow. If you have trouble getting the game on your particular cable subscription, I may have a trick or two. Not making any promises. Just get in touch with me. Go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/truthontapshow. I can probably show you a way to get the game on the internet. No promises. And there is a certain moral question you have to ask yourself before you ask for that information. So do that. Have your conscience clear when you come to me. And then we'll go from there. And then after that Saturday game, though, bam, got a game Sunday, December 8th, Capitals at Rangers, 7 p.m. drop time again. Strange drop time coming up, and that's Flyers at Capitals, 3 p.m. drop. 3 p.m. drop, that's Sunday, December 15th. So I told you about the Rangers, and we play Lightning, then Panthers, then Flyers. So that's what it's looking like going into the middle of December. Capitals recalled Spreaker. Capitals reassigned Orlov to Hershey. Orlov, I don't blame him for asking for a trade. Erat, you blew it, man. You cannot let public your want to be traded. Because what if you're not? Nobody wants you on the team anymore once you make that public. Nobody. The fans certainly don't. You want to go? Get the fuck out. That's how we feel about it. There's plenty of people that want to be playing here. I'd rather have a young, hardcore grinder any day than a pro with attitude problems. Take your veteran with attitude problems. Take your Alexander Seelman, that's how you say it in Russia, and kick him the fuck out. Doesn't want to work half the time, doesn't want to work the other half. How are you going to know? I can't take an unpredictable, spoiled-ass brat. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Make him go. Make some other team gamble on that shit. Give me somebody who will grind and who is consistent. That's who I want on my team. I can train them to be great, but I cannot teach work ethic. I cannot teach smart hockey. I mean, you got to be quick on your toes out there at all times. Let's see. So that was Orlov. USA Warriors win B Division championship and USA Hockey Sled Classic. Holiday savings at the Verizon Team Store. Capitals recall Orlov from Hershey. We know about that. So Orlov will probably end up getting traded. I would have liked to have seen more of him. I don't think we got a good enough feel for him. He did look kind of like an old school guy, coming in with the big hip checks and stuff. I like that about him. But a lot of people were singing his praises, and I didn't see anything phenomenal about him. I saw him maintaining. I saw him worthy of a spot on a pro team, which kind of baffles me that he's not. But I didn't see anything that blew my socks off, so maybe you saw something that I didn't. Adam Oates, I like his approach, but as you noticed last press conference before this win, he was starting to give up. He was starting to say, we just played shitty. Maybe that's what it's time for him to do. I love his professional approach. I mean, these guys are in the pros. They shouldn't need to be babied. They shouldn't need to be yelled at like a Gabby might have done. They should be able to hear a message and feel it. Your fans make sure you feel it. So, I don't know. What's our current cap looking like? What are we, around $60 million right now? We're going to have to see what's going on with trades and see where we can save some money and get some more big names in here. We're going to end up weakening a line to do that. So that really depends on where you see your weaknesses at. So anyway, that's going to do it, man. I'll let you guys go get your party on. You've heard a little bit about the upcoming schedule. You've heard a lot about the way I think the Caps are playing. Fair doing a fantastic job tonight. Holtby doing a good enough job tonight. Could have been a little better in the shootout, but we won. So we got to be careful about the breaks we give when we win. We have to be just as critical of players who aren't doing that well when we win as we are when we lose. And that's hard to do. And this show does come from a fan perspective. So I allow that psychological element into it where if you were an ESPN broadcaster, you could not. You would have to be equal on your criticism no matter if there's a win or loss. I get that, okay? I'm a fan too. I always have been a fan, and I am emotionally connected to the Capitals. But I still feel like it's a view that is not portrayed accurately often enough. And the reason is because either you have to be pro on the big shows or you do not have an emotional connection, or the biggest one, you have sponsors to protect and names to protect. You owe people favors. You won't find that here. You won't find that on a good fan perspective show. And even if this show gets big, you can't buy me. I'm not buyable. So I'm gonna attack whoever's fucking up. I'm gonna promote whoever's not, and I don't have anybody to protect. So whoever's playing well is getting promoted. Whoever is not, is not. And my Backbone Club is demonstrative of that, I believe. So that's how we're going to do it, man. Caps beat Habs in shootout, 3-2 your final. Let me quickly give you the fast rundown of the shootout scoring, since I don't bother to memorize that stuff. The round one, Eric Fair came in, deserved a shot. He sure did. He deserved it, and he banked it. Banged it, over that heavy glove, Budai, and then Lars Eller. Well, he fooled Holtby. Holtby's got to close. He's just got to be smarter when it comes to the simple shots, the 5-hole, and the outside the skates. Spread that butterfly out, make them shoot high, and then work your upper body to stop them. OV gets his, bangs his in, same way. Deschamais gets his, or Desjardins, I'm sorry. I always say these fucking Frenchmen's names wrong. Let's say Backstrom misses his, which is unusual. And then Galchenyuk misses his, and then Grabo for the win. And beautiful, beautiful shots all. Grabo gets freezes him on the fake slap shot and then bangs it through the 5-hole because the goalie will try to fill up the net. And when he's doing that, he can't stay down in the butterfly on a slap shot. And it's it's a little trick. And I'm glad that we did that because he was waiting for that high glove side shot. When something's working in a shootout, you'll see people try it again, just like you saw on both sides tonight. And it works. So he was waiting for that, glove side high shot. Sure enough, bam, he finds the 5-hole on him. That'll work for us. That gives us the 3-2 win. Works for me. I don't know if it works for you, but it works for me, goddammit. And that's going to do it for Caps on Tap. Your host was Kevin Kierstead. Get the hell out of here and go party. And we're